Spring been going?
It's been fun. Been a great spring so far. Just for us, just getting acclimated to each other. We got new backs in the room, Jaylan Knighton and obviously LJ Johnson. So it's been fun getting to know those guys and bringing us all together. It's been a really good spring so far.
Camar was back today. What can you say about the work he's had to do to earn that, opportunity to be back in practice?
We was excited to get him back. I was excited to see him out here today. He's putting in the work. He's taking on the challenge as far as getting academically right, and that's what he needs to do. So he put in the work, getting academically back on track, and he's good to go.
How do you look physically out on the field to you?
Obviously, he hasn't done nothing as far as football-wise. He's obviously been working with Coach Grizz in the morning, 6 a.m.s, but he looked good physically. You can tell his wind is not all the way there yet, but he looked good as far as his football movements and tracks and reading it. It looked good. It looked good for him today.
What's maybe stood out as some first initial reactions to Jaylan and LJ?
Just their big playability. They're tough. They are downhill, hard-nosed. Jaylan, you think tough, hard-nosed downhill. You won't think that because he's 182 pounds, 133 pounds. But he is a tough football player. The way he runs violent and mean, and he's just a really good football player. And LJ is everything I thought he would be when he come here. He fits our offense very well. Him and, like I said months ago, they work real well together. Him and Jaylan, as far as him being the downhill guy in between the tackles. He has enough speed to get on the edge, but he's a load inside. I'm very impressed with those two guys.
Is there almost an inherent challenge for Camar now, too, with adding these two new guys to the fold? Obviously, Tyler, hurt too, but eventually come back. Is there an inherent, hey, there's going to be more people in this stable of ball carriers, time to step up a little bit?
Absolutely. I think a guy like that, he's very competitive as it is. He's very hard on himself. And he pushes himself anyways to strive to be the best, but the challenge is there for all of them. The competition in the room, that's what you would want. You want a room like that to compete with each other. It's a big-time competitive excellence in the room right now. If you see it, they're coaching each other up. They're talking to each other. They're building a brotherhood in the room. So with Camar, seeing that those guys are coming, I like how he's responding. He's not backing down. He's trying to step it up and take it to another level. So
we talked with Jaylan last week. Seems passionate about what he can do in this offense. What's his energy like out there?
Oh man, he brings a great energy to the team. He's a spark. As you saw on Friday, his first two runs was explosive, big time runs. Those are runs in this league that's going to be touchdowns. So he brings an energy and an edge to this offense, and I really love it.
Toward the end of last year, Tyler Lavine was getting a bulk of the carries.
Absolutely.
Now he's on the sideline watching as these two new guys and now Camar are back. What's it like for him in terms of just a frustration level watching these other guys get the ball and get all the reps?
I don't think he's frustrated at all. He's the ultimate team player. He's the most unselfish guy in that room. I think he's a guy that when he's in there, right now he's coaching. He's learning the offense just as well as I'm learning the offense. So for him, he's very unselfish. I don't think he has any kind of way about him. He just want to get better and keep. He has a role. Everyone in that room going to have a role on this team, and that's to help us win football games.
Can you kind of pull the curtain back, with what he played with maybe throughout the end of the year? Because obviously he had that surgery pretty quickly after.
He's just a tough guy. He's a guy that he can play through anything. I mean, I wouldn't be able to play with it. I put a tell like that. But he's a guy that, I'm not sure exactly what it was. I know he had to have the surgery on it, but I think it was like his tendon or some in his knee. But he's a tough dude, and I don't think many people would have been able to play, let alone take 15 to 20 carries a game and play basically the whole game with that injury. So it just proves to you how tough he is, how committed he is to this team and this program.
With what he did last year, I mean, obviously, whenever he's healthy, he's going to have to earn whatever he gets back. But is there almost a thing in the back of your mind where you're like, I'm not even worried about how he's going to fit in because he put in the work last year? Do you kind of use last year as like stock for this year a little bit?
Just a little bit, but it's always about what it's not what you do last year, it's what you do now. And with a guy like that, he's going to show up every day. He shows up every day now. And I expect him to get right back in the mix and the flow of things and earn his keep. And that's what the room is. Jaylan Knighton and LJ Johnson, Camar Wheaton, Velton Gardner, and Brandon, they have to earn it. And I think that's what's going to make our room better. Guys coming out every day, practicing and proving that they need those reps. It's only so many. It's only one football. So I think that energy in that room and that tone that we set as a staff and as a position group, that you have to show up every day and you have to prepare and go earn those reps. So
how does it change what you can do as a coach or what your group can do when you've got Elijah Chapman back there helping you on the offensive side?
It changes everything. It just allows us to have a whole different dimension of offense. You know, it allows us to obviously run the football at will, and we impose our will on people. You know, we have a big front as the O-line with Coach Guerin doing up front, and then you add him to the piece. It just makes us even more dynamic as far as run and pass. Because now if that guy's in the box now, you thinking you got to load that box, and now we got our elite receivers on the edge, one-on-one with the defenders. So I think he's going to add a big-time dimension to our offense. It's going to be pretty good for us going forward.
Recruiting question for you. You know, the push to obviously keep guys home in Dallas. What's been the difference with you guys here in year 2 that you've seen the response with kids after seeing the product on the field? Obviously the buzz around kind of some of the outside stuff.
I think it's been good. You know, as you can see, guys have been coming on campus. They've been showing up. You know, Dallas is home for a lot of these kids, and they want to be able to take this program. Someone want to put it on their back and take it to the next level. So it's been a good response. As you know, we're still a Group of 5 program, and they want to do Power 5. But I think what Coach Lashley is building here, and the family atmosphere, and just us embracing this Dallas brand and home is these kids and building a relationship with those guys. I think they love what we're doing here as far as the relationship piece, and they want to be a part of what we're doing going forward. And we got an elite offense, so a lot of guys on the offensive ball want to come play for us.
A very open-ended question. Why does Roderick Daniels Jr. make sense in the backfield?
Because he's special with the ball in his hands. He's one of the few guys that you really ain't got to teach him anything. He gets back there and he's very dynamic, hard to tackle. He got really great vision, great balance. So with him, we just got to find a way, and we're going to do it as far as getting the balls in his hand, and that's going to be out the backfield a lot.
I know it's just spring, and some games will dictate things and drives will dictate things. Do you, Coach Lashley, Coach Woods, have a philosophy as far as rotation of the running backs, as far as a guy gets a drive and then the guy the next drive, or rotating within drives? Or
for me, it's going to be earned obviously through the week, but you probably want to go with the hot hand, and that's what's going to keep guys committed and driven. You go in there, obviously you want to get guys going, get a feel for the game. You don't want to rotate them too much. You want to at least get their foot in the ground, but it's going to be earned every week, every practice, every day, and I think these guys do a good job right now just being competitive. We do sit down and talk about, what far as game plan is, who fit better for what game. But usually, we got different style of backs, but they all do everything pretty well. So I think we should be fine, whichever one's in there. So.
You got a room full of guys who are used to getting the bulk of the carries, whether in high school or even at other universities, and you know what you've got in Tyler and Camar. Is your job now largely psychologist? I mean, are there enough balls to go around with this bunch? No,
I wouldn't say psychologist, just managing. You just got to make sure you understand you keep everybody, on the same page. It's a bigger goal at the end of the day. I appreciate these guys. I think it's going to take the whole room, the whole group to get to the big game. We want to play for a conference championship, and it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us. As you know, running backs get dinged up and beat up, so everybody got to stay ready. For when they get the opportunity, they got an opportunity to capitalize on that. So I just keep them ready, and they got that. They bought into that mindset of staying together, staying locked in, and just being ready for when their moment comes.
In the transfer portal, did you guys go into it wanting to grab 2 running backs?
My mindset was to go in and grab 2 running backs because, as you can see, we got beat up last year a lot. Tyler did an unbelievable job holding down the fort and finishing the season off. But I feel like we needed, and the staff and Coach Lashley, we feel like we needed some more explosive backs in this lethal offense that we have, and we feel like we went out and got those 2 guys.
You talked about how everybody in your group's got a role, and again, you've got Tyler and Camar coming back, and then you add these 2 high-profile guys in Knighton and LJ. Brandon Epton and Velton Gardner, what do they need to show you in the spring or in camp to be part of that rotation in the fall?
They're doing a good job of showing it right now, just competing every day, showing up every day, competing. As you've seen, Velton Gardners have had some explosive runs, and so have Brandon Epton. It's going to be a deep room, and I'm excited for these guys. I'm taking on that challenge. They're taking on the challenge to be a very great, the best unit. That's the goal, to be the best unit in the country, and I think we need all those guys to be able to do that.